We are hearing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhaktyaloka 12 essays in relation to 6 faults and 6 qualities for devotion in second and third verse of Upadeshamrita respectively. We are now hearing about prayas, endeavor. Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, for a certain thing which is natural, dharma, there is no need of any effort. Water does not need to give any effort to be liquid, because it is liquid by nature. Like that, servitude to Bhagavan for Jiva is natural. No effort is necessary. But when Jiva is in conditioned state, then some effort, little effort is necessary to remove that cover on the nature, and that nature will manifest. But all other endeavors are troublesome, karma, jnana, yoga, and they will not give a fulfilling result for Jiva. So any kind of other effort one should not do. It will be obstacle. You are wasting your time. Instead of doing devotion to Krishna, you are doing other things. So we also heard that if someone with humility and sincerity, with Sambandha Gyan, chants Krishna's name and remembers his name, then naturally he develops intelligence which thinks, I am a spiritual particle, Krishna's servant. Krishna is my master. My nature is to surrender to Krishna's lotus feet. This world is my transitional abode. Attached to any object here does not bring happiness to me. This realization will come because it is already within Jiva, but it became covered because of being averse to Krishna. So now this will naturally appear. It is not taught. It will be revealed by this effort of sadhana bhakti. By this, the sadhaka quickly attains all perfection. Endeavors for jnana, karma, yoga, liberation, bhoga, samsara, and association with materialists are all contrary to the sadhaka who takes shelter of the name. Effort for or endeavors for jnana, karma, yoga, or for liberation, for bhoga means enjoyment. Here it is not translated as samsara, can mean this world or family, both can mean this material existence. So endeavor for this is contrary to the sadhaka who takes shelter of the holy name. By all those endeavors, bhakti is destroyed. The endeavor for attaining insignificant fame are more despicable than all other endeavors. Here I think it should be is. The endeavor for attaining insignificant fame is more despicable than all other endeavors. Though despicable, fame is unavoidable for many. It also must be removed completely by pure bhakti. Thus Sanatana Goswami says, Sarva tyagepi aheyayah sarvanartha bhuvaschate kuryuh pratishtavishtaya yatnam asparshane. The devotee should make effort to void completely desire for fame. The root of all anarthas, avoid, means here, it is a mistake, typing mistake. The devotee should make effort to avoid completely desire for fame, the root of all anarthas, like stool, which is not given up after giving up all else. Reject that. This is, on this verse, this is only one part of the whole thing. We are hearing during Kartik Brata, Bhaktivinoda Thakura wrote that song describing this verse. This is in Sanskrit, that is in Bangla. Ekanta bhakter matra kirtan smaran. Anya parve ruchi nahi hoy pravartan. Bhaver suhit hoy Shri Krishna sevan. Swarasi ki bhave hoy bhabudipon. Then hoy udipon. Then that part comes Sarva Tyage Korileo Chara Sukotin Pratishta Tyage Jatna Paive Pravin. One may have given up all other things. Although he gave up all other things, like desire for money and sexual enjoyment. But it is very difficult. Pratishta Tyage Jatna Paive Pravin. Very difficult to give up desire for name and fame. It is more subtle. And Gurudev told, it is invisible, undetectable in someone. If someone does some bad activity like accumulating money, sinful activities, sexual enjoyment, all this, he can understand this is wrong. I'm doing wrong, and he will have some repentance. But for name and fame, he will not be able to detect. And because of that false pride, he will commit offense to Guru Vaishnavas, criticize, and others. So that is very, Parangurudev said, that is very problematic, anartha. Pratishta. Prabhupada used that word, Shukarer Bishta. Here it is only, Sanatana Goswami says, Avishtaya, Asparshane. Prabhupada described it as the stool of a pig or hog, because hog, he eats the stool of other people, and what he will produce is stool of stool. So impure. You should not even look at it, what to speak of touching. But unfortunately, we conditioned souls, we are fighting for this name and fame. What pure devotees see as the most dirty thing, which should not even look, we are prepared to fight for that, die for that. So we are so much in ignorance. That pratishta, desire for respect, fighting, killing, everything, in court case, everything. So someone asked Sridhar Maharaj, why your Gurudev said this? Such a bad word. Sadhus are gentle, why they should speak such filthy words? Then Sridhar Maharaj said, yes, our Gurudev was searching for a word and he could not find any other more dirty word than this. If he would find some other more dirty word, he would use that one. So dirty is this desire for pratishta, and very difficult to give up. Even to detect is very difficult. Only when you get association of pure devotee, by his grace, by his light, you can detect it, and by his grace only you can give up. Otherwise it is impossible. And as long as that is present, that desire for respect, surely you will commit offenses. That is why one who has that desire for respect, he cannot chant purely Harinam. Impossible. Amanena manadena kirtanya sadahuri. So here, it must be removed completely by pure bhakti. Also, Raghunath Das Goswami, in his Manak Shiksha, he spoke about this, Pratishta, in few verses. It is possible only by the grace of pure devotee. We have to surrender and follow his instruction. Then one can, by getting higher taste, give up this taste. There also Gurudev means Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Gurudev translated, if someone wants raga bhakti, pure bhakti, then he should be very careful in regard to this, with this desire for name and fame. This teaching is very profound. The devotees with special care should maintain this absolute principle. While living life using actions of natural means of subsistence favorable to bhakti, the devotee sadhaka remembers and chants the name along with sambandha gyan, knowledge of his relation with Krishna and with Maya also. So he will maintain his life as was described in the first, that Atyahara by Jukta Vairagya, and at the same time he will remember and chant the name along with Sambandha Gyan. There are two types of this method of worship devoid of endeavor, means prayas. That for the householder and that for the renunciate. Making Varna ashram favorable to bhakti, the householder accepts his material maintenance and without endeavor practices bhakti. He should collect and earn wealth in a way that he can easily support his family. The only goal of his life is worship of the Lord. Easily means that according to Varna Ashram Dharma, what is suitable. If he always remembers this, he will not fall into illusion. In wealth and poverty, in happiness and suffering, in waking and sleeping, he will quickly attain worship of the Lord. Like in marriage, they say, we will stay together in sickness, health, wealth, but these are only words. Generally, it is not followed because self-interest is not fulfilled. Then there will be separation. And separation is inevitable because one will die or both will die. So that kind of like constant love, so-called love, which is not love, cannot remain. Impossible. But one who realized his eternal relation with Krishna, he can serve Krishna in all circumstances. If he's poor or wealthy, sick, healthy, happy or suffering, always he's serving. That is permanent relationship. No any worldly relationship is permanent or unconditional love. Impossible. That is imagination. If someone thinks like that, it has nothing to do with reality. And we have example, Haridas Thakur, he said, even if you kill me, I will not give up chanting. And he meant it. He was chanting while they were trying to kill him all the time. Because he is situated in that soul platform, so he can have that steadiness in devotion in all circumstances. Prahlad also. So many attempts to kill him Hiranyakashipu made. But Prahlad was firm in his devotion constantly. And in waking and sleeping, while they're sleeping, yesterday I told, or the day before yesterday, devotees, they're sleeping also for the service of Krishna. To give rest to this body, which belongs to Krishna, and they will use it for Krishna. So their sleep also is with this target. So one who will, in all circumstances, worship, he will quickly attain eternal service. The renunciate. So this vow we should make to Krishna, like Narottam Thakur. Radha Krishna Pranamor Jugala Kishore. Jibone Morone Ar Goti Nahi Mor. In life or in death, they are the only my goal. My life, I will serve them, in life or in death. This vow we can make only in relation to Krishna, not with non-eternal relations. We may say, but it is practically not possible to maintain, to follow. The renunciate should not accumulate at all. Every day he maintains his body by begging and practices bhakti. So householder will earn in a way that is easy to support his devotion, and ascetic he will beg and do Shravan Kirtan. He does not make efforts in any project. If he enters some project, it is a fault. Attaining Krishna's mercy to the extent that he shows humility and sincerity, he will know Krishna Tattva. Brahma says in Bhagavatam, again I will, attaining Krishna's mercy to the extent that he shows humility and sincerity, he will know Krishna Tattva. Here then, it is to that extent. There are degrees, as I told on that day. And devotees, they have degrees in their devotion and also in realization and detachment. Brahma says in Bhagavatam, Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hrit vagva purvir vidadhan namaste jiveta jo mukti pade sadaya bhak. Here, first translation by Srila Sai Maharaj. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. As I told before, here two translations are possible. One who tatenu kampam susamikshamano, he will wait, means always dependent. In India they say, I'm waiting you, means I'm surrendered to you. So he will wait for Krishna's mercy and accept the reactions to his past misdeeds, and offering his body, everything for service he will get. And another meaning by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and our Gurudev also told, Susamikshamano, one who will minutely or thoroughly or perfectly observe what is going on. He can detect that in all circumstances Krishna is gracing. in what we perceive as good circumstances or bad, according to our material liking or disliking, it is all mercy of Krishna, meant for my own good and for the good of all others, or the best. But this vision only pure devotees they have. That is why they are always calm and serene. And they see also all suffering which is coming to them as a result of their bad deeds in the past. That they also see as a mercy of Krishna, to rectify them, or to teach them a lesson, or to show them the fact of their activities, because we don't believe. Like one man, others will tell him, don't take drugs, they will ruin you, but he does not believe. So when he will take drugs and he will be ruined, then he can understand. Like that, we don't believe that this enjoying Maya is not good. So we have to get that experience of suffering. That is mercy of Krishna giving us suffering so that we can learn what is actually the nature of this activity, what is the result. Since you don't believe, then okay, you experience. So those who are fully sincere, they can perceive. It is all mercy of Krishna, it is for my own good. And in whatever circumstances they are, they will fully submit to Krishna completely with body, mind and words. If someone has such attitude, then he will inherit, he will be heir, yes, to the service of Krishna or liberation. It will become his rightful claim. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says there, son only has to remain alive to get the property of his father when he will die. That is the only thing. Like that, devotee who surrenders in this way completely, he will get eternal service of Krishna. Such a devotee never blames anyone for any suffering, and he also does not pray to Krishna, rescue me from my suffering. Never. He thinks, I did misdeeds. I will accept what is due to me. You are not my servant, that I will request you to remove my problems. No, I am your servant. I'm not giving this burden to you. I did wrong things, so let me accept, let me get that. It is your mercy. Such attitude they have. To have desire for liberation is separate desire. Devotees, they only have desire to serve Krishna. So here, explanation by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. O Krishna, you are the basis of liberation, Mukti Pade. No one can rightfully claim you because Krishna is Asamurdva. No one is equal to him, no one is superior to him, no one can claim him. Only he can do so, he who experiences self-created suffering. He will understand, I created this suffering, no one else, not Krishna, nor anyone else. I created it by my own past misdeeds, and he's ready to accept that suffering as a mercy of Krishna. Our Gurudev told, Karmandi Vadikarastema Paleshu Kadachana. Krishna says in Gita, you have a right or adhikar or qualification to do action, this or that action. You can choose, but results are not in your hand. So devotee knows whatever is coming to me, it is sanctioned by Krishna. It is his grace. So he's accepting in that way. Not blaming or complaining or accusing or retaliating or fighting anything. No, he accepts as Krishna's mercy self-created suffering. We can understand and we can repeat these words, but to practically follow this is very difficult. But it is one of the conditions to get service of Krishna. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard Dhruva Charit 100 times. I once heard from one, we can say, Sahajiya Prom, devotee. He told me, no, this law of karma, this is some basic topic. Don't speak this. This we already heard. So long ago. You speak Ras, Lila and Manjari Bhav and these things. No need of this karma topic. But the point is, we are not practicing karma topic. So practically we are not getting the fruit of devotion. Then what is the use of hearing those high topics? If even devotion of Dhruva we are unable to follow, how we will follow devotion of Brajavasis? And here it is Krishna telling through the mouth of Brahma in 10th canto. After Brahma surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna blessed him, and by that blessing Brahma spoke. Our Gurudev told, Krishna was speaking through the mouth of Brahma. So here Krishna himself is telling who can attain him. And one of the conditions is this, you have to experience self-created suffering. If you are not ready to admit it is self-created suffering, but blaming others, then you are disqualified of attaining eternal service of Krishna. So only he can do so who experiences self-created suffering and with the aspiration that you will be merciful to him, performs bhakti to you by body, mind and words. Nothing happens by endeavors for jnana, etc. You are known only by your mercy. So if one practices devotion in this way, it is a part of devotion to Krishna to not blame others, to accept the law of karma and that Krishna is giving the fruit. No one else can give independently of Krishna. So no one is the cause of my suffering. He may be instrumental in the hand of Krishna, but he is not the cause of my suffering. I am the cause of my suffering. It is self-created. So as long as I blame, I am disqualified. It is one of the practices of devotion, or one of the parts of indispensable part of devotion to Krishna. That is why our Gurudev would not go beyond this. First you practice this, then you will hear another things. Thus Bhagavatam says, Athapi te deva padam puja dvaya prasada lesha nugrihita eva hi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. This is also by Brahma in same chapter. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. Brahma experienced this directly. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Lord are unable to know you. Brahma also experienced this. Even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years, Brahma has knowledge of Veda, but he could not understand Krishna as Bhagavan. Only after he received his mercy, he could understand. That time he said, all this jnana, this all useless. It is impossible. Only by his mercy, which will descend to one who is surrendered to him, means only by devotion. Also, Gopinath Acharya, he said to Sarvam Bhattacharya in Puri, why you want to teach Mahaprabhu Vedanta Sutra? You don't know he's God. Sarvam Bhattacharya, no, he's not God. You give me any scriptural evidence. The Bhagavan appears only in 3 yugas. That is why his name is Tri Yuga. There is no Yuga avatar in Kali Yuga. So I don't believe you. Then Gopinath said, no, really he is God. Then they were arguing. Then Gopinath Acharya finally said, yes, you cannot know. Unless you receive his mercy, you will not be able to know that he's God, what to do. Then Sarvam Bhattacharya said, and what is the proof that you got his mercy? You are saying you know. What is the proof you got his mercy? Then Gopinath Acharya very firmly said, the proof is that I got his mercy is because I know he's God. That is the proof. But opposite, you will find in this world, not only during the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and before, or even now, you have people who claim they're God, and you have their followers who will try to convince you that he is God because of some miracles and like this. But the point is, if you got the grace of God, real God, or his personal associate, real bona fide guru, then you can be saved from that illusion. Only by their grace. Otherwise, you can also be bewildered. So what to do? We need the grace of pure devotees. So many things Maya is presenting. If one takes shelter of the name in a humble mood, all that should be known concerning Bhagavad Tattva, means truth about Bhagavan, will appear in devotee's heart by the mercy of the Lord, without effort. Example is Dhruva. Gurudev told, he didn't have any academic education, but he was graced by Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord touched his cheek, some say throat, with that conch, and everything was revealed in the heart of Dhruva, how he should sing the glories of Supreme Lord. Though he was 5 years old boy and no education, but what he spoke is absolute truth, and even Rishi Munis, they are unable to understand what he's speaking. But he's speaking without effort. Naturally, it got revealed. And in the first verse, he said, O Supreme Lord, you entered into me by your Swarup Shakti. And you awakened in me this power of speech to glorify you, which was before sleeping. Now I can understand. You awakened this by your mercy. By your grace, I am speaking about you, and that speech to sing the glories of Maya, that is removed by your grace. That is why no one can understand by mundane intelligence. So this is the end of this prayasa. So any other endeavor except sadhana bhakti is unbeneficial endeavor and should be given up. It is obstacle to devotion. And devotion means 2 things: proper maintenance and chanting or Shravan Kirtan, both. Proper maintenance for householders like this, for renunciates like this. And chanting Harinam is same for both Shravan Kirtan. Then next fault is Prajalpa. Talking together is called Jalpana or Prajalpa. The aversion to the Lord is so strong in the world today that almost all talking to another person is material gossip. Such talking is not beneficial for devotee sadhakas. One can speak plentifully about cultivating bhakti. All this produces auspiciousness for the devotee. Our Gurudev taught in Russia when explaining this in Upadeshamrita Prajalpa. He said you should make it very short. What is these worldly things? Devotees, they have no taste to engage in this worldly talk. But if it is like necessary for something, you should make it very short. Don't go on and on and on and on and to so many persons, same thing, and again repeating, whole time wasting. You should make it short. Quickly finish and engage in the service of Krishna. What is the use of explaining same thing to so many persons and whole day is passed by that? And no benefit in this. No one is benefited. But the thing is, we like to be heard for some attention. Then we are getting some taste in speaking. But devotees, sadhaka should change that, should remove, change, and pure devotees, they have no taste, no desire to speak worldly talks. Rupa Goswami in Karpanya Panjika Stotra writes, Tathapi asmin kadachi dvam adisho nama jalpini avadya vrinda nistari nama bhaso prasidatam. Yes, but here Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, but you can go on speaking as much as you can about Krishna and devotion to him, about the glories of devotees, of Dham, Nam, Rup, Gunila. This you go on speaking as long as possible, but not worldly talks. In poetry, this means when this miserable person chants the name, chanting Namavas, his life becomes free of all fault. Chanting the names of the couple should be merciful. Tatapi Karpanya Panjika, yes, this is in humility. Tapi asmin kadachi Mamadishu. We hear there in 1 second, I will see another translation if it is more clear. Yes, here another translation of these verses. O King and Queen of Vrindavan, here couple, when sinful persons chant even a semblance of your holy names, that is Namabhas, that semblance results in your causing their deliverance from multitudes of unspeakable acts. Therefore, I implore you, if I happen to chant your name, then by virtue of that pious act, be pleased with me. And here it says, when this miserable person chants the name, that is chanting Namabhas, his life becomes free of all fault. Chanting the names of the couple, the couple should be merciful. Radha Krishna. We hear that during Kartik, Tam nirvyajam bhajagunanide pavanam pavananam shraddharajan ratitaram uttama shloka maulim prodhyam antah karane kuhare jannama bhanora bhaso pikhapayati mahapatagdvantarashin. By nama bhas, all that pap, sins, everything will be removed. Even by nama bhas. What to speak about pure name. And all ignorance will be removed, all fault, everything will be removed. Example is Ajamil. He was very sinful in later life. In first life he was pious. But then he got degraded and was very sinful. So many sins. Then when Yamadutas came, then out of fear, he did not call Supreme Lord, he called his son. But because of past Sukriti, he named him as Narayan. Some say that some sadhus advised him to name him Narayan. So he loudly said from the core of heart, Narayan, Narayan. He called out of fear. Then immediately his all sins were destroyed and he got liberation. Yamadutas could not do anything to him. Immediately Vishnudutas came and protected. No, you cannot take him. When they said, no, we will take him. He's a great sinner. Then Vishnudutas said, how you can say he's a sinner? He's totally pure. They said, no, you don't know. We have that list, how many sins he did, and he did not do any prayaschita, no any atonement. Then the Vishnu, in front of you, he chanted, Narayan. You don't know religious principles. You ask your master. They had no power. Yamadutas, who have a power which no one can resist. At this time, they had no power in front of Vishnudutas. Then they went to Yamaraj and they said to him, oh, our master, we thought you were the greatest of all, but today we were checked by some divine persons. We don't know. Then Yamaraj said, yes, they are Vishnudutas. He is my master, Vishnu. You should never approach his devotees. All else you bring to me for judgment, good and bad, both. But don't approach Vishnu Bhaktas. Those who are wearing Tulsi Mala and those who are wearing Tilak, you should not approach them. They are, Sridhar Maharaj told, they are not in for the court of Yamaraj. They are, they will be judged by the court of Vaikuntha. That court of Yamaraj has no jurisdiction over them. Only Vaikuntha court has jurisdiction. If they are sadhakas, still Yamaraj will not touch them. Vaikuntha court will decide about their next life, how they will continue their bhajan. So here, Ajamil, all his faults were totally removed. He got liberation, no attraction for this world. He's fully pure, but he heard about Narayan from these Vishnudutas, so he followed that desire and he went to Haridwar and he took shelter of one Vishnu temple and was worshipping Vishnu, also chanting his name, now with relation. I am his eternal servant, with Sambandha Gyan. Then after 12 years, he got that perfect devotion and Vishnu Dutas came to take him to Vaikuntha, to attain that eternal service of Vishnu. But how it was that he chanted Namabhas? He had no offenses. He never criticized Vishnu or Vaishnava. If I am chanting so many names and still experiencing misery and attraction for this world, it proves I'm not chanting Namabhas even. Some offenses are there. So that has to be rectified by surrender, by continuous chanting, by serving the sadhus. When that will be corrected, rectified, then you can attain Namabhas and pure name. Kirtan, stutis, prayers, and reciting scriptures are all talking. But when all these are devoid of other desires and are favorable to the Lord, they become cultivation of Krishna. Krishna Nushila, service of Krishna. So you will find many kirtans going on, but whether they are for the satisfaction of Krishna, that has to be seen. Yogis, they also do kirtan, but with other purposes. In India also you will find they are doing kirtan to remove epidemics. So that is not favorable to the Lord. Or someone praying so much like this. But what is his target? That by that it is ascertained whether this is devotion and he is a devotee or not. It is not that just anyone will chant Krishna, even he is a devotee. That is not true. Anyone who is reading some Vedic scripture, he is a devotee. That is not true. Or you will find even Mayavadis, they worship deity, but they are not devotees. So only externally seeing is not enough. You have to see what is his intention. Whether under the guidance of Guru he is doing service of Krishna and Krishna is satisfied, then that will be devotion and he is a devotee. Otherwise not. Otherwise, why would those who are not devotees but wearing signs of devotion like tilak, this, but with some other purpose, when Abhiram Thakur would give them dandavat to them, they would die. Abhiram Thakur had that power. If there was any statue, not deity, but someone using statue for collecting money, like not real deity, if he will give dandavat to that deity, then the deity will be broken immediately. Or if someone is pretending that he is a Vaishnava, wearing tilak, tulsimala, but not really devoted to Krishna, Abhiram Thakur will give dandavat because he's pretending that he will give dandavat, that person will die immediately. So it is not that just anyone is a devotee. To be a devotee is not so cheap. Very rare. Devotees are very rare. The conclusion is that all talk unfavorable to bhakti is contrary to bhakti. The sadhaka should give up prajalpa with great care. There is no fault in the actions of the great devotees. We should speak as the great devotees have spoken, favorable to bhakti and with respect. Like our Gurudev told, you have to speak about Krishna, not other talks. Then you will waste your human life. You should speak, you should go on speaking about Krishna. But I cannot. Then Guru said, like I spoke, also you should speak. You should speak about Krishna, not other things. Or if other things, you make it short, not very long, whole day. But Harikatha you make long. Speaking about Krishna and his devotees' glories. Some person who have extreme bhakti teach that one should give up all types of talking. But we are Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami. Following Rupa, we are always engaged in following the path of devotees that he instructed. Samrigya Shreyasam Hetuh Pantah Santapa Varjita Anavapta Shramam Purve Yena Santah Pratastire. One should follow the scriptural rules which give the highest benefit and are devoid of hardship, by which the previous devotees easily progressed. This from Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu, quoted from Skanda Purana. So our Guru said, like I spoke about Krishna, you also should speak about Krishna like that. What you heard about Krishna, what you read from bona fide Shastra about Krishna, that you should speak. Why you should not speak this? Only speaking otherworldly talks whole day. Then you will waste your human life. The path shown by Vyas, Shukadev, Prahlad, Mahaprabhu and his associates is the path of the great devotees, Mahajanas. We should not abandon that correct path to hear the teachings of new extreme bhaktas. All the Mahajanas gave respect to the talks which produce bhakti. I will discuss this in a special place. Tomorrow we'll hear further. Let me see how here they translated this extreme. That is Ativari, one who is pompous devotee. 1 second, then I will finish. Prajalpa. Yes, some Ati Bhaktas. Those who make a show of excessive devotion teach that one should give up every type of prajalpa. But we are Upanugas, we are not following them. Yes. Some person who have extreme bhakti, yes, excessive devotion, make a show of excessive devotion, Ati Bhaktas. Just today I heard one man, he said, I'm teaching highest type of Raganuga. No need of Diksha, no need of nothing, sadhana, nothing. Only when that Sakhi or someone will appear when you are eager, just by looking at you or touching you, you will get prema immediately. No need anything. That is highest type of Raganuga. So what to do? I'm unfortunate. I cannot get prema in such a way. I'm following Rupa Goswami in how prema will manifest. But though they have prema, but at the same time, so-called prema, at the same time so many other symptoms are there. So what to do? Everyone have their own sukriti and they get certain belief attraction. It is true, by Kripa Siddhi it can happen, but that is very rare. And one who got prema in that way by Kripa Siddhi, there are certain symptoms of prema visible in him, which prove that really he has prema. Total absence of all other desires, no disturbance, no nothing. But if I imagine some emotional prema, then that is another thing. So tomorrow we'll further hear about Prajalpa.